Welcome to Pro Control Tech Support. My name is Matt Sundberg, and today I'm going to show you the differences between pages, screens, and viewports in Pro Control Studio. Here we have a very basic system file. As you can see on the top left corner of our screen, we're on current page home. On the Pro 24R, pages are tied to the remote buttons on the far left hand side. So on the home page, since there's no real activity or device tied to that, there's no buttons mapped towards that. Now if we change our current page, we can see that on the Blu-ray player page, we now have buttons and functions programmed for the Blu-ray player. Now this is the Blu-ray player page. The hard buttons are tied to this Blu-ray player page. This changes depending on which device you're connected to. If I change to the Smart TV function, you'll see that all the commands on the left here are now tied to the TV rather than the Blu-ray, and this changes for every page that you're on. Now within pages, there's something that we call screens. Screens allow us to have more real estate or more functions on the screen in front of us. If you look in the top left hand corner here, we're still on current page Smart TV, but we can hit the blue arrow to the right to see the next screen. This allows us to put more functions, buttons, just more settings available to the end user. Now we can add more screens simply by hitting the blue arrow to the right, and this will give us more screens to work with. You can keep adding screens as many as you wish depending on memory. These pages will appear and disappear dynamically depending if there's any user-created content on the screen. You notice if you click to the previous button that the pages will disappear since there's no content on them. But if you add a button to that screen, you will simply see that now it's screen 3 of 3. And this is how the screens are dynamically added and created. So, pages are tied to specific devices. Screens allow multiple pages and buttons for more functionality within that specific device. iOS interface is a little bit different. We still have current pages for each device, which gives us functionality, but we don't have the ability to have screens. But we do have something called a viewport. A viewport is essentially a screen window within a page. So not only do we still have the page, which is our main interface, we also have a viewport within that. If we can double click the viewport to open up the editor, in the top left hand corner where you normally see screen, you see panel. And this is the viewport within the page. And you can click right or left to see this change. Now the page in the background will remain the same, but it's the viewport and the panel that's changing versus the screen on the remote. And within this panel, operates the same way. You can hit the blue arrow to the right to change panels, or you can just keep hitting blue arrows to add more panels. Again, these pages are added dynamically, so as soon as you put a button on the screen, it will change to 3 of 3, 4 of 4, etc. You also notice that on the panels or viewports, there's also a panel indicator at the bottom of the screen, and these are created dynamically as well. So as soon as you delete a button, it'll go back to panel 2 of 2 unless there's a physical button on the screen. If you have further questions, be sure to give us a ring at Pro Control Tech Support or shoot us an email at support@procontrol.com. Thanks.